take this time as a spiritual winter, that you're moving into the source of yourself. And in that way, you can very gently release the entrapment that you have. Now, it can be just blaming the government, blaming the medical system, blaming so many things, even to an extent our childhood, parents. And when you go and find that space of silence, you suddenly will see how you have caught up in this habitual turmoil. And even if there is no turmoil, you will still create it. So I always say, what is not repair will always repeat. So this class is about that part. And sometimes we may have to see who builds up, who brings the truth in us. And if it is not happening in your environment, and if you don't have that practice, then it's time for you to move on and change, even including my teaching. If it doesn't work for you, it doesn't remind you to be honest, if it doesn't remind you to release from the entrapment, it is time for you to shift for something else, because it's not doing the purpose. But also doing the purpose is not just coming into a class for 1 hour and then you see the same pattern still occurring. That means your commitment, your perseverance, your persistence into the practice is not there genuinely. So some of you have written about God. I will answer that in the practice. Now, when I say you are that, you will understand when you no longer, your habitual paths are not there. When you go back into that space, you will finally find that enlightenment is already there, but you're not there. God is there, but you're not there. Let's say hypothetically, a lot of Asian cultures take God as the sign of image of the sun. The light that comes into it is you, but it doesn't mean the light has to be God again. Because if you really go into the sun, there is no light, but it generates that energy of that. So it's an energy that we generate through our practice, energy that we generate through our day-to-day things. So take this moment. It's not about finding logic into it, taking a break from that logic to be present into the practice. So now I'm going to start with some pranayama exercises. Now I like the Anuloma Viloma, but today practice is going to be a little bit difficult. Hi Ryan, good to see you. Your right goes into the Vishnu Mudra, second and third fingers are pulled into the palm, and then what you do is you hold the right nostril and completely breathe out first. So you start with the left nostril, you're breathing into the 4 count of the left nostril, and then you, after that, you close the nostril and hold that breath for 16 seconds, or count of 16, and then you breathe out into an 8 count. Then you're breathing into a 4 count, hold it for 16 count, breathe out onto 8 counts. So let's start doing it. So close the right nostril and keep your spine straight and elbow. Breathing in 2, 3, 4, holding the breath. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Breathing out gently through the right nostril. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Breathing in through the right nostril. 1, 2, 3, 4. Close. Holding 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Breathing out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4. Holding 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16. Breathing out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In, 2, 3, 4. Holding 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In, 2, 3, 4. Holding 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In, 2, 3, 4. Holding 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Wow, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Relax the mudra. Shoulders roll back, spine straight, seated. Now the next one is Ujjayi Pranayama. Ujjayi Pranayama is almost like you're breathing out through your mouth to fog a mirror. So like this, like you're trying to fog the mirror. But the only thing we are doing is to activate that gloitus, but you're breathing in very gently through the exercises today, and you're breathing out very gently, but closing the mouth through the nostril, activating the same gloitus still. So there is no need of a count. You can breathing in and hold the breath and breathe out very gently as much as possible, longer as the in-breath. When this happens, you don't have to get caught up in the mind, caught up in the muscle, caught up in the energy, because this will gently bring that into the space of your practice. So very gently breathing in, very gently activating that gloitus, breathing out. You can hold the breath even. Now, the third breath is, before you go into a meditation or anything, you can do this Brahmari breath, which is the index finger is pushed into the cartilage of the ear, and you take a deep breath in and very gently vibrating that sound of but very gently closing those ears. So taking a deep breath in. Breathing in again. Close the cartilage of the ears. So using that humming voice just to generate and get that clutter out of the mind. That clutter that keeps on overthinking, that clutter. So the vibration of the sound can penetrate deeper than your thoughts and emotions. Now take a deep breath in and release the arms. So you have now 3 breaths to practice through the week. Anuloma Viloma, Ujjayi Pranayama, and the Brahmari breath. Now very gently, once you have come into that seating posture, shoulders relaxed and chest open. Now very gently take that deep breath in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stretch my left arm towards the right, and my left palm is facing up, and I'm going to take a deep breath in. I'm going to stretch my right arm over to the left side, but keeping my knees and the hips very gently grounded onto the floor. Now use that Ujjayi Pranayama, deep breathing, activating the gluteus, looking onto the ceiling, stretching that elbow so that it's not bent. So you can even face the right palm up and down and keep that stretch happening. So the stretch is happening on the left side and the extension on the right side, opening up the ribs on the right, but not crushing the ribs on the left. Now breathing in very gently, coming back, shoulders relax and chest open. You could see already if there was an imbalance about sleeping, emotions, that all can be released. Now change the leg formation. Now take that deep breath in. So I normally stretch my right arm to the left side, right palm facing up, shoulder open and parallel, and then left arm goes up and it moves to the right side. Now the point is, don't allow the neck to hang, don't allow that elbow to break and drop it. So just keep it in the stretch. Now, if I start losing the energy of this posture, I start lifting up my left palm facing up a little bit and then down and stretch. My idea is to stretch to the right side, stretch to the left side in the meantime, like you're trying to twist a towel on both directions to get that excess energy out or stagnation of the energy. Now breathing in, coming back, shoulders relaxed and chest open. So I'm going to move the camera towards Darren. Now very gently, I'm going to stretch my neck onto the right. Breathing in back to the center. Stretch the neck to the left. Back to the center. Shoulders relax and chest open. Now very gently coming back into the center. Shoulders relax. And so I'm just taking them. So I'm stretching my legs into the front and I'm taking a deep breath in first and elongate my spine like this. So my feet is stretching to the front, slightly bend. And I'm going to take a breath out and curve my spine, stretching my arms into the front, but holding in my core very gently. Take that deep breath in to come back. So you will feel your bones, your seating bones is kind of like collapsing and it's finding its space very gently, stretching into the front. Now I'm going to take another deep breath in while I'm there. And I'm going to take that breath out while curving the spine, going back, engaging my pelvic floor. And then holding the breath there. So going back a little bit more, I'm not hanging onto my knees. I'm getting my core to work. And I'm going to take a deep breath in and coming back. And stretching over. So I can feel my sitting bones are going on top of a rock or something. And I'm going to take a deep breath in here. Coming back, hold the breath. Breathe out, going back. I'm not holding onto my knees. Chin to the chest. A little bit back. Breathing in, coming back. Take a break if you want to. And very gently stretching into the front as much as possible. Now, one more time, take a deep breath in and coming up. Elongate the spine, collapse the spine. Holding that breath on the out breath. Breathing in very gently, coming back. Stretch the legs into the front. Shoulders relax and chest open. And very gently try to stretch the right leg more than the left leg. Onto the front, not to the side. And then try to stretch that left leg a bit more than the right leg. Back to the center. Now take that deep breath in and very gently bringing that left foot onto the right and very gently open up the toes. Spread the toes very gently. This is a time to nurture the feet. If it is dry, it's good to put some castor oil and put some socks in the night so that the dryness will go away. This is going back to the source of the body. It's not about how much we need to walk, how much we need to connect back into these places that are serving us. So now very gently, put your fingers in between the toes and very gently bringing it onto the right side and give a good rotation to the circular motion, very gently. Also flexing and pointing the toes very gently by using the energy of your hand. Now very gently take that deep breath in and holding the feet and rocking that bent leg like a little baby. Very gently opening up the hip, tightness. Now over to right, over to the right, and just holding the knee closer to the chest. Now very gently take that deep breath in, coming back and very gently stretching that leg away from you. Now very gently inviting that right foot and very gently opening up the whole feet. And if it occurs some dryness because you're touching your own feet, it's time to take care of it. And I always say after a shower in the night, apply some beautiful castor oil and then wear some socks. Within a couple of days, you will see that dryness of the skin, the cracking of the skin is gone. Now very gently using the fingers to move between those toes, very gently pointing and flexing, and then give a good rotation. Clockwise, anti-clockwise. Now very gently holding like a baby and very gently cradling onto the right and onto the left. Very gently. So you're warming up the hip sockets, you're warming up the knees, you're warming up the ankle and the bones of the feet. Now very gently dropping onto the left side and holding onto that knee and try to lift up the chest and the space of the heart and the spine very gently. Shoulders relax and chest open. Now very gently stretch both legs into the front Now pointing into the front, palms onto the floor, and very gently lifting up. Shoulders roll back. Engage the pelvic floor. Toes pointing onto the floor. Lifting up the head, tilting slightly, not totally drop. And take that deep breath in and coming back. Now very gently bringing that knees to the chest. Completely breathe out. Breathing in, coming into the Navasana. Stretch the legs. If you want to hold on to the back of the knees, you can. Shoulders relaxed, chin up. Breath out, knees to the chest. Breath in. Breath out. Chin up, spine straight. Breath in. Breath out. Don't tilt the head forward or backward. Breath in. Breath out. Breath in, breath out. Now very gently coming into the space of Sukhasana. Shoulders relaxed and chest open. Very gently twisting the spine to the left. Stomach pulled in, keep that spine straight. Shoulders spread. Very gently moving into that space of the Ujjayi Pranayama. Breathing in, coming back into the center. Into the center. Dropping those leaves, dropping those flowers, dropping those ideas, concepts, attachments, conditioning. Change the leg formation. Take that deep breath and take a moment through the breath, through the body, that you're letting go of all the forms. It's not the situation most of the time what troubling you, it's your ideas about the situation. Makes you suffer. So take that couple of breaths deeply. Ujjayi Pranayama, when you're ready to breathe out, keep that elongation of the spine, hips drop, knees drop, twisting the spine to the right, shoulder spread. So this is the time you're going into the spiritual winter, not getting identified by your leaves, stories, flowers, fruits. When you're getting caught up in your thoughts and emotions, this is that flimsy attachment that you have into situations. Breathing in very gently, coming back into the center, shoulders relax and chest open. Now very gently bring that left leg into the back, keeping that right hip open, shoulders relax. Take a couple of more breaths to be in that space of inquiry. Shoulders relax. So like this, the pigeon pose. So it's in the start of the pigeon pose, shoulders relax. But if it's harder onto coming into the pigeon pose, you can do what Dasa did before. And very gently stripping everything so that breath will help. And very gently today, we are allowing the practice to take us into the root, to the core. Shoulders roll back, elevate the space of the heart. Now very gently breathing out, dropping those elbows, dropping those heads. It's almost like a tree in the winter, dropping back to the roots. When you have allowed yourself, to be stripped, when you have allowed yourself going into the core means, entering into that space of the winter. Allowing all those ideas, future projections of the blooming, falling out of the mind. Then you may find yourself falling into that space of the source, the God, before your parents, before your life, before your body, before your ambition, falling into the essential root of your being. Breathing in very gently, coming back, shoulders relax, and that chest open. Lift up the space of the heart, finding the sole purpose of your journey. Shoulders relax and chest open. Take that deep breath in and coming into a plank. Stronger on the pelvic floor. Very gently drop the knees. Stretch the spine into the back, palms facing up. This is an amazing time. In Buddhism, this is called Vaskalya, means the rainy season. Rainy season is that we are stripping everything and going into that space within ourselves, that we experience the spiritual winter within ourselves, and allowing that time to dawn into us. And the process is naturally stripping away, more like falling away. When you're very still and quiet, when you're trying not to hold on to those leaves, hold on to your old flowers, falling away naturally is occurring for you. If you're not trying to control, control comes from the ego of the mind. You want to hold on to this so-called security. Palms facing down, crawling and bringing the chest into the front, breathing in, activate the gluteus, allow the practice to fine-tune you. Shoulders relax and soften the hips, breathing in into a gentle cobra, opening up the vibration. It is very important to the Bhujangasana. It's very important to have reptiles posture. That's stripping away. You're still quiet. You're not trying to control anything. Now, you can very gently allow that breath to energetically falling off those thought patterns. Thought patterns are energies. What you're doing here is, when I say falling, those patterns are no longer energetically creating habitual patterns, overlooking onto the left side. You're sensing its own purity. You'll move back into the space of that God consciousness. Breathing in back to the center, onto the right. Breathing in back to the center. Shoulders relax, forehead onto the floor, elbows pointing out this time. Shoulders relax. A quiet way to falling into that space. Falling into that space of the breath. Falling in from, out from those patterns. The energetic qualities of falling away. Like leaves falling. Like snow falling. A delicate falling is now happening. Now in this inquiry, ask yourself, who am I? What am I? Being present into that space of not knowing and just questioning, allowing your beliefs and assumptions, the realization of the eternal truth to come at its expense of all your illusions. Who am I? What am I? Don't try to find a logic answer. Palms onto the floor where the elbows are, breathing in into a very gentle up face. So that should give you a lift Breathe out towards the down face. Very gently bending one knee at a time, relax, toes pointing at each other. Not more than hip apart. Very gently opening up that and unlocking the space of the hip. That the tightness has occurred, the emotion has occurred. Freedom has been restricted because the body doesn't find the freedom. The body finds a freedom in a liberated mind. Now, liberated from what? Liberated from your own ideas, liberated from your own emotions, liberated about all your thinking. Now, very gently take that deep breath in. Left foot into the front, into the pigeon pose. Shoulders relaxed, right leg stretched, and very gently landing into that space. Breathing in. Breath out, very gently dropping those elbows, dropping those arms, dropping back to the root, into the source, into the root. Now, what's the difference between a ruksha, a tree, and a human? If the humans were representing trees, you know what they would do? They would never allow a winter to drop their leaves. They will rake them back and paste them back on their tree. That's how ignorant is the human behavior. Or they will decide what fruit should go to whom. This is the time to take a break from that. The asanas are nothing to become more of the nature. Swabha Dharma, the teachings of the nature. Take that deep breath in, very gently coming back. Shoulders relaxed, chest open. Into a plank. Strong on the pelvic floor. Strong on the pelvic floor. Breathing into the yuji pranayama, activating the gluteus. Like fogging a mirror, but the mouth is closed. Drop the knees. Give a good rotation to the hips. Allow that digestion, allow that trunk to feel that it is going into the source. So this is not about holding into your beliefs again, that your life, that my life. This is very gently allow it to strip away onto the other side. Knees wide apart, stretch the spine, palms facing up, back to the space. Allow the breath to remind you that you're having a spiritual winter. You're moving into the source. You're moving into the roots. You're moving into a space that there is no glorification like the branches, like the flowers, like the leaves. It has to come from the roots. If it's not coming from the roots, allow the breaths, allow that deep breath in to rid the thought away. Change the energy. The judging mind, the enlightenment mind, all these unnecessary identities. Don't reach down to gather it up again. This is your sacred opportunity today. When things are falling out and when you are not identifying with the things that are gone, which is your past conditioning and past story, You may find in these practices that you don't need that identity. And it was always illusion. And it was a dead weight that you're trying to keep alive. Dead weight to toss overboard. Something dead that you're trying to keep it alive. When there is so many alive things around you. Your roots that makes that majesty of that tree. Palms facing down. Take that Ujjayi Pranayama, crawling and bringing the chest into the front. Drop the belly, soften the hips. Breathing into a bit more advanced cobra. Shoulders relax and just open. If not, a gentle cobra. Forehead onto the floor, relax. Relax into the roots. Let the leela happens. Let the emptiness dance, but not from identity. Palms onto the chest level, breathing in into up face. Breathe out towards the down face. Shoulders relax and chest open. Left leg up into the back. Left knee onto the left chest, breathe out. Come forward. Breathing in, stretch back. Left knee onto the left elbow, breathe out. Come forward. Breathing in, stretch back. Left knee onto the right elbow. Come forward. Breathing in, stretch back. Left foot into the front. Arms stretch into the back. Arms raise onto the ground. Interlacing the fingers, palms facing up. Arms stretch onto the sides. Garudasana, right on the top. Very gently sitting deeper into the Garudasana. Very gently observing, returning into the core. Returning to the root of your own self. Taking the practice today and allowing you to see through everything that you take yourself to be allowed. Even your most sacred identity, let it drop. Let the breath to help to drop that leaf, drop that flower. There is such a beauty in discovering that you can do ultimately something unspeakable, something unglorified. Now, when you come into that space, turn onto the right and opening the Garudasana into the Virabhadrasana, into the space of a warrior, and taking a gentle mudra. Gentle mudra. Sit deep. Just letting go further. Letting go. Letting go. Letting go. Returning to the roots of your own existence. Letting go to that which is not definable. Take the mudra to represent that it's not definable. Gentle arch. Breathing in very gently, coming back into the center. Elbow onto the knee. Stretching that right arm into the sacrum, up to the ceiling. Right palm facing up without dropping onto the face. Taking that extension a little bit more. Little bit more. Get the adjustment from the leg to sit deeper. Get the adjustments to breathe and turn the hips. They're parallel on top of each other. Shoulders are parallel on top of each other. Spine is elongated and stretched between the hips, between the shoulders. Touch the floor. Deep breathing, left arm reaching up to the ceiling. Clench and unclench. Do not hold onto any leaves. Let it drop. Allow it to crack open. Run through those energies. Peeling through those energies. And allow the practice to open what is in the core. Left arm reaching into the back, touch the floor. Because the core is gold. This is all its creation. It's not destroying to find the core. It is just being in this low space, but recognizing that you're beyond these formations. Drop the back knee onto the floor. Lunge a couple of times forward and backward to release. Take that deep breath in. Arms stretch up, interlacing the fingers. Palms facing up, elbows stretch, a gentle arch. Arch is from the hips to the shoulders, into the spine, onto the ribs. Pushing forward through the hips. Breath out, spread the wings widely and touch the floor. Into a plank. Stronger on the pelvic floor. Left knee onto the floor. Take that deep breath in. Right leg up without tilting the hip. A little bit more. Left arm stretch into the front. Take that deep breath in. Align the head. Align the back. Keep that strength. Breathe. 6 more breaths. Drop the knee. Palm onto the floor. Completely breathe out to that space of the cat. Anus lock, navel lock, throat lock. Breathing in into a gentle space of the cow. Shoulders relax and chest open. Tongue roll up onto the upper palate. Energy is going into that space of definable pituitary and the pineal energy. Breathe out, anus lock, navel lock, throat. Breathing in, tongue roll up onto the upper palate, energy gaze on the pituitary and the pineal, the radiance coming out of nowhere, something just radiating out, coming out from nowhere, absolutely nowhere, definable. Reaching into that core, breathe out, anus lock, navel lock, allowing everything to drop. Practice is nothing other than your naturally opening. Breathing in, tongue roll up onto the upper palate, into that space of that spiritual heart in that core. And you uncover not only the emptiness of that radiance of the mind, but the radiance and the warmth of that heart. When you're really resting, breathe out. Deep breathing, breathing in neutral spine. Left arm reaching up to the ceiling. Left arm reaching under the armpit. Try to get that arm down, down, roll, 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 and stretching the right arm into the front. Finding that total twist and holding that space of the energy of the core of this body, naturally allowing that space to come. Fullness. Fullness, not having things, but totally empty, but yet full. Heart, there's the energy totally full without anything. When that emptiness comes, that you're empty from your idea of yourself, you're empty from ideas of what you're holding, you're empty from people, you're empty from worlds, you're empty from everything that awakens you. That awakens you. You can compassionately awaken that space, and that space become alive. What you want to say, whether it's spiritual, whether it's whatever, it's awakened. Breathing in very gently, coming back. Bring that arm back. Shoulders relaxed and chest open. Push your hips a few times into the front and into the back. Ujjayi Pranayama, gentle fogging without opening the mouth. Stretch the spine into the back, palms facing up, shoulders relaxed, chest open. Let that heart full. Let that heart becomes alive. Some of you, all those going through those emails, feel lonely, feel isolated through these lockdowns, feel cold. But you're finding yourself daily, when you're entering into the practice, yourself being very still. Each and every lockdown has found you very peace. When mind is not settled into that space, you see the life is outside. So this loneliness of the loneliness, this is fully protected from of loneliness, and it is called aloneness. When all the boughs of this tree is stripped and there is a core, so it is not about protecting your ideas about spirituality. It's not about protecting your ideas about the religion. When everything falls open, when you get into the core, ideas about yourself, ideas about the world, ideas about the others seems to be untrue. So you now understand that the education that you took on, put on clothes and created who you are, is no longer there. It is much more deeper than that. It's not about taking the energy of the heart and replacing it with something. Palms facing down, crawling and bringing the chest into the front. Take a deep breath in and coming into a gentle up face. Breathe out towards the down face. Toes pointing at each other, heels apart, so very gently, moving into the core. Deep breathing, allow the breath to help you. Allow the breath to change the mind energy of the thought. You're changing the energy of the thought. You're not replacing a thought by another positive thought. Does it make sense? Right leg up into the back. Right knee to the chest. Come forward. Breathing in, stretch back. Right knee onto the right elbow, breathe out. Breathing in, stretch back. Right knee onto the left elbow. Come forward. Breathing in, stretch back. Right foot into the front. Arms stretch into the back. Interlacing the fingers. Shoulders relax. Back relax. Back relax to relax the front. Front relax to relax the back. Spine is relaxed to relax the head and neck. Hips are relaxed to hold the knees. Knees are relaxed to hold the feet. Feet are relaxed to be that in that space. Arms raised onto the ground. Interlacing the fingers, palms facing up. Arms stretch onto the side. Garudasana, left on the top. Take that deep breath in. Even the third eye can be touched very gently to find that openness. Find that space of beyond. When your true nature is realized through the practice, it is not as if you have something amazing experience. And after the deepest experience, when you realize this is open, radiant, this is empty, and open, this is radiant, you've always been open. They don't need to open. They are not going to open. Openness has always been here. You no longer see. You see one thing, one, and in everything now you see. But the openness was there. Enlightenment was there. Somehow strip you away from it. Your ideas and goals have stripped you away from it. Very gently taking a mudra into the Virabhadrasana onto the left side. And allow a mudra on the right palm, right fingers. Not to put back your defenses. Virabhadrasana, the warrior pose, is not putting up defenses like what you used to do. The vastness, you're just melting into that space. It's not about wearing a silly little thing to protect you from that vastness. It's not about holding it one day that I'm going to open it up and become liberated. Probably not. Someday you will stop identifying with your silly little things. Free yourself of limiting identities. And you will embrace the infinity. Because that's what it is, God. Gentle arch. Breathing in gently, coming back into that space. Elbow onto the knee. Left arm stretching up, shoulder relaxed, shoulder aligned on top of each other. But very gently, not forcing anything, stretching into the front. We are creating an energy flow so that the energy doesn't get stagnated. And stagnated energy can be quite damaging because it creates some thought patterns, emotion patterns. Gently touch the floor. Shoulders relaxed and chest open. Right arm reaching up to the ceiling. Right reaching into the back, touch the floor. Drop the back knee onto the floor, holding onto the front. And shoulders relax and chest open. Breathe Ujjayi Pranayama. Arms stretching to the back. Arms raised onto the ground. Interlacing the fingers, palms facing up. A gentle arch. Gentle arch. Gentle breathing, openness. Fall into the openness. Fall into the silence of the openness. Spread the wings wider and touch the floor. Into a plank. Strong on the pelvic floor. Right knee onto the floor. Left leg up. Keeping that hip down, left hip down, right hip pulled up a little bit. Right arm stretching into the front. 6 deep cycles of breath. Keeping that openness when there's eternally challenge. Keeping that humanness. Welcoming that openness. Openness is opening into that mystery that is totally alien for you, foreign for you, different for you. But you have always been. Even the aliens comes back to learn from the compassion of the humans because they also have lost it. Because they become so technical, analytical, and became more of a machinery. And they are returning back into their civilizations that they have left, like us, to learn how to be human, how to be open. Palms onto the floor. Drop the knee. Completely breathe out into a cat. Breathing in into a gentle cow. Neutral spine. Right arm reaching up to the ceiling. Right under the armpit. Left arm stretch. Opening that space to understand, opening that and welcoming that space. Even the dimensions of your existence in the future is returning back to feel that humanness, to feel that sacredness, feel that winter, feel that inside ourselves, returning into the most essential form. That we are falling on everything that has created into this from the mind, now opening into that openness, not resisting. The great aloneness, the great winter is coming to open you, liberating you. So just go with the flow, just return. But this to be, it needs a lot of courage, and I have spoke about courage. Allow yourself to return to the essential. Returning to your very root, returning yourself home. All the way to the seed and the nucleus of the seed. Only in there you will feel the whole truth. Because you're holding on to the truth of the creation itself and the manifestation of it, but not where the creation started. That very emptiness, the very openness, the very beam of the light, the beam of the seed, the beam of your being. Contain the seed then. Then only life will start springing for you again. Otherwise, you're just holding on to an old tree and old leaves, painting them colorful to tell your story. Very gently coming into a gentle cat. Breathe out. Give a good rotation on a neutral spine to the hips and allow the digestion to feel this space. And very gently stretch the spine into the back. Child pose. Palms facing up. So this is a time that the classes help you to release yourself from that entrapment. Ask yourself, are the people in your life building you up or inspiring you? If not, it's time to take charge and start making change in your environment. Maybe it's time for you to cut out all that negative media. Maybe it is time for you to change certain food. Maybe it's time to change your breathing. I'm very gently coming from that space. You need to be responsible for your life. Nothing can affect you unless you choose to let it. Your thoughts create your reality, so be very careful of your thoughts. If you constantly be bombarded something very similar to your thought patterns, eventually you will believe it and you will become a slave to that. Remember, you have new choices. Remember, if you're constantly talking about the negativity, the fear, and that self-talk is very powerful. And it will change your physiology, psychology. So be very careful what you're talking about. And if you don't have anything to talk, it's better to be silent. Better to be without ideas. Just that openness. The core of who everybody is. So stop waiting for, let it go of all these changes that you think that is freedom. And then only you're going to be happy. When you realize it, you have a choice. Start living. Life happens spontaneously. When it was happening spontaneously, maybe you were too busy. You didn't have time to enjoy it. And now you're saying that you want it back. What do you really want back? What you really want back, be very honest and your integrity. What you really want is the most amazing mystery that is unfathomable. You cannot know it, you can only be it. Either consciously or unconsciously. But to be it consciously is a whole lot easier than to be unconsciously. Realize yourself and be free. That is the space of God. Very gently wake up the spine, one word of prayer at a time. Shoulders relax and just open. Very gently coming into a seating posture. This is a good posture to give all the digestion if you're going to eat after this class, because your legs are relaxing and it brings the power back into the digestion. And it creates that Jataragni, the gentle fire. When I lose this fire, I actually have more of the ginger juice and some honey. So to create that heat in the belly. So the digestion is kept moving. It has to be fiery to digest things. And it is the same fire that you need to have to become the phoenix. Palms onto the Namaskar position in self-realization of the practice today. Gently chanting a single Om with me. So consciously we are collectively celebrating that liberation within ourselves from the core and allowing this winter season to teach us a bit more. So today's practice is when you go for a walk, just allow yourself to remind you about the tree, the Rukshasana, the great tree, moving into the roots. Cleansing the space of the body, space of the home, space of the state, space of the world, space of the universe. And may your awakening be represented in every part of the whole universe. Touch the earth, respect for the biological forms and the matriarch forms in its balance, in its harmony, in its space of service. Gently coming out of that physical practice. Palms onto the Namaskar position, leaving yourself into the space of the roots, space of the core. Namaste.